With Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott recently signing his franchise tag, it got me thinking, if Josh Allen was due for a new contract, how much would the Buffalo Bills be willing to pay him? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this GM Fantasy edition of Believers Talk, where we get to play the GM. That's right, Brandon Beane is no longer the GM. In this episode, I will be playing the GM, and I'll be asking myself, how much would I pay our quarterback, Josh Allen, if he was due a new contract? Again, guys, thank you for joining me. My name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, guys, please be sure to hit that subscribe button as we continue to keep you up to date on Buffalo Bills and Buffalo sports news. Also, after you hit that subscribe button, you want to hit that notification bell. YouTube will notify you when we put out new content, whether it be breaking news or some fun videos like we're doing right here, constantly keeping you up to date on Bills news. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. While you're here, like this video and leave a comment. You can play the GM too. How much would you be willing to pay Josh Allen if he needed a new contract today? Knowing what we know of Josh Allen, everyone expects Josh Allen to have an incredible 2020 season with the addition of Stephon Diggs. Obviously, we're all hoping for that as Bills fans, but we don't know what's yet to come. So let's pretend for a minute, hey, his contract ran out at the end of the 2019 NFL season, but the Bills wanted to re-sign him. How much would you be willing to offer him? Again, let me know in the comment section below. By the end of this video, I will let you know how much I would be willing to offer Josh Allen, and you can let me know if you agree or disagree with that number. So I started thinking about this because Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, recently signed his franchise tag. Still working on a contract for Dak Prescott, and they're talking a lot of money. When he signed his franchise tag, that means he's going to make $31.4 million this upcoming season to play quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and that number looks to be even more if they get a contract sale between now and July 15th. Some even talk about some of the money going up into the $40 million range before it's all said and done. Now, I'm not sure what you feel about Josh Allen being up at Dak Prescott's level. Dak Prescott did finish second last year in yards, excuse me, in passing yards last season in the NFL. So maybe he has a little bit of a step up on a guy like Josh Allen. Josh Allen still does actually have 2 years, possibly 3, if we do the 1-year extension with the Buffalo, or 5th-year option, I should say, with the Buffalo Bills. So he still has time, obviously, to make his case for a big contract. But again, we're just looking as if the 2019 season was Josh Allen's last contracted year with the Buffalo Bills. So first, let's talk about Josh Allen's current contract. Josh Allen is on the 3rd year of his rookie deal, drafted by the Buffalo Bills in 2018. It was a 4-year, $21.183 million deal. So you look at the average of that, averaging a little bit more than $5 million per season, and this season he's due to make, I believe, somewhere between $3 or $4 million, and he counts towards 5+ as far as a cap hit. So those are Josh Allen's numbers going into the 2020 NFL season. Obviously very underpaid for his position, but that is the benefit of getting a quarterback in the 1st round. That's why you want to make sure if you get a quarterback in the 1st round, you want to kind of strike gold because you get him for a cheap price. Get a team built around that person for 4 or 5 years, and then you have that quarterback at a cheap price, and you can continue to build around him, hopefully build a championship contender, which is what the Buffalo Bills are trying to do. So in order to look at Josh Allen's contract numbers and see where we think he should go, let's take a look at what he means to the Buffalo Bills. And what do I mean by that? I mean, obviously his stats, right? 2019, he had completed 58.8% of his passes, just over 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But if you remember, those last 6 games of the season, only 2 interceptions. Those last 6 games, one stable, went up in the booth. So maybe that speaks to a little bit towards Josh Allen's ability to improve as the season goes on, and maybe we'll see even more of that going into the 2020 NFL season. So those are all things to look at. You also have to consider Josh Allen's age, right? Josh Allen currently only 24 years of age. By the time his contract runs out, he will be 27. But again, if we're going off today, still a young man at 24 years of age, still has a lot of years to play in the NFL. In the regular season, his record's 15-12 overall. When you talk about contracts, when you talk about paying players, especially the quarterback position, winning is what matters most, in my opinion. You want a quarterback that knows how to win. And speaking of knowing how to win, Josh Allen knows how to come from behind. 6 come from behind victories already to his name in his career. So when you look about a guy who was able to keep his poise under pressure, under time restraints, who it doesn't get frazzled when his team's down. You look at a guy like Josh Allen, and when you look at a guy like Josh Allen's leadership capabilities, that's something that you can't put on paper that still should speak to some volume as far as price when it comes to a new contract for Josh Allen. Again, let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section. So when I look at Spot Track right now, his current market value is $29.1 million, and I really think that's actually low here, guys. I think Josh Allen's worth a lot more than that. I'm not sure if Spot Track is forgetting about some of his rushing stats from 2019. Talking about a guy who ran for over 500 yards last season. Again, 9 touchdowns, which was the most by any quarterback in the NFL last season. So when you look at the 20 passing touchdowns, yeah, the 9 rushing touchdowns. Talking about a guy who had 29 total touchdowns for his team last year. Pretty impressive number, if you ask me, and that's something that hopefully, again, he improves on in 2020. And that's the thing, after only 2 years in the NFL, you expect him to continue to improve, and so that has to be lumped into the contract as well. So I looked at some of the contracts previously of previous years of quarterbacks around Josh Allen's age, and I came up with 3 names that I really want to talk about, both in 2019 and in 2018. In 2019, there were 2 young quarterbacks that were signed to new deals. Talking about Carson Wentz of the Philadelphia Eagles and Jared Goff of the Los Angeles Rams. Both signed 4-year deals. Jared Goff's a little bit more. Jared Goff is due to make $134 million with 33.5 average per season. And Carson Wentz, $128 million, $32 million per season. Now, Jared Goff was when he signed the contract in 2019, 25 years of age. Carson Wentz was 27 years of age, so there is a little bit of an age discrepancy there. 2 years, not a lot, because again, you see quarterbacks lasting into their 40s nowadays. That's not a huge difference in age, but maybe that has something to do with the number, because to be honest with you guys, I believe that Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Jared Goff. However, that would include Carson Wentz staying on the field, and before the 2019 season, last season, Carson Wentz played all 16 games, but prior to that, he had some issues staying on the field. So I'm sure that might have hurt him when it came to contract time as well. But when you look at that, Josh Allen also played all 16 games last season. So that would have to go into effect with any contract that you'd be willing to pay Josh Allen at this time. But another name I wanted to look at in 2018, guy signed a new contract with a new team. That would be Jimmy Garoppolo when he went to the San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo signed a 5-year, $137.5 million deal, or $27.5 million per season. He was a little bit older than Josh Allen. Josh Allen, 24. He was 28 when he signed this new contract. So what does that mean for Josh Allen's contract? Again, 24 years old, over 3,000 passing yards, over 3,500 all-purpose yards last season, almost 3,600 to be exact, 3,599 yards. Where would you put Josh Allen's contract if you had to pay him right now? I look at some of the contracts of Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Jimmy Garoppolo. I look at their stats from the 2019 NFL season. Guys, this may shock some of you, but Jared Goff actually finished in the top 5 in yards per or passing yards in the season. You look at Carson Wentz, 63.9% completion percentage, over 4,000 passing yards himself, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Wentz, 62.9% completion percentage, 4,600 plus yards, 22 interceptions, 22 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, too high there if you're asking me. Definitely nobody want to bring down. We have a guy in Josh Allen through 12, and I still think that was too high. So when you look at a guy that has 16, seems pretty high for one season. That's won a game. That's just too many. You're not going to win a lot of football games that way. I mean, you see he threw for 4,600 yards, and they still missed the playoffs. Jimmy Garoppolo in 2019, almost a little over 69% completion percentage, almost 4,000 yards, 27 TDs, 13 interceptions. Now, none of these guys have the rushing numbers that Josh Allen had last season because none of these guys are mobile quarterbacks, or at least not the way you think of or look at Josh Allen. So looking at Josh Allen, doesn't quite hit the yards mark that these other guys do, but there is an element to Josh Allen's game. You talk about the running attack that has to be factored in here. You talk about leadership qualities that has to be factored in here. You talk about durability. He played all 16 games last season. That season before he missed a couple. So that has to be factored in. So all these factors, you look at his market value on Spot they put at $29.1 million. But again, I think that's really an insult to Josh Allen for what he's meant for the Buffalo Bills. When I look at these other contracts, $32, $33, and $28 million per season, I think he's worth a little bit more than that even for what the Buffalo Bills are asking him to do. Again, we're going to find out a lot more this season, so make sure you're tuning in right here on Believers Talk. If I were to give Josh Allen a new salary right now, today, or at least offer it up to him, I would give him a 4-year, $35 million per year contract. That just seems like a good contract. A little bit more than Jared Goff, about $1.5 million more. A little bit more than Carson Wentz, and about $8 or $9 million more than Jimmy Garoppolo. So I'd be giving them the 4-year, $35 million contract per year contract, which come out $140 million for 4 seasons. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that's about right? Would you pay him more? Would you pay him a little bit less? Remember, I'm trying to stick within the restraints of a salary cap as well. So keep that in mind. We don't have all this money to throw around. But I think, again, these contracts, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, signed last year. We know about inflation from year to year for these contracts. We know how important the quarterback position is and how teams are willing to pay a little bit more for a quarterback that they know that gives them pretty solid skill set, and that's where you get Josh Allen, a guy that you know can win you a few football games with his come-from-behind victories they had last season and the season before that, and a guy that can lead this team hopefully to the playoffs and beyond. So my contract offer would be 4-year, $35 million per year contract. That's 4 years, and that is, was at $140 million. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Again, do you think that's a little too light, or do you think that is about right? Let me know what you think. Again, thank you for joining me on this edition of Believers Talk. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for continual Buffalo Bills news. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.